People,
That's
welcome to the 4th episode of the Brodamen Asylum podcast. Whoa. Okay, cool. So thank you guys for sticking with us thus far. It's been really good. We've had a couple of controversial conversations, and we are sure that the comment section is receiving buzz boosts from everybody right now. But
we're seeing it.
And we're seeing it. We're enjoying it. It's fine. We knew what we're getting into when we decided to talk about these things. But we need to make something abundantly clear. This is the Brodamen Asylum podcast. It's for men, by men. We look at how to help ourselves as men. So not everything is going to make sense to everyone, especially our women. Which brings us to today's topic. But before we get into that, again, we'll introduce ourselves so that we can blow. My name is David.
I'm Gogwade, aka Gomashet.
You know what I'm saying?
I am too. I'm Ronti.
You're not giving your AKA this time.
No.
Okay.
Nah, that's Ronti.
Straight.
Full stop.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Full
I
stop.
can see. I'm sure you can see all the blue things. Like the first thing I go to, maybe like blue lights, but then you now come to the front. Now see this
Very, very
sassy
light
ass
blue socks.
Blue socks.
Very, very blue.
Courtesy
Wearing it
of
again.
our producer.
I love
it.
Because I love
can
it so
spell her
much.
name.
I'm on it again.
Yes.
No. I can spell her name. I don't know why she gave us these socks. And these
What's
socks,
your over?
they were the inspiration for our topic today. Sassy ass men. The over feminization of men. Like, what has happened to men? Where has the masculinity gone? Where has chivalry gone? Where has order, structure? You know, all those things that, like, I had when we went for because y'all don't know. So maybe this is the first place I'll drop. Me and Amto were cousins, right? Cousins.
Not
His mom
not the
is
fake
my
one.
mom's older sister. Yeah. So we went to my mom's house for Christmas celebrations last year. And my 50-year-old uncle, over 50, I don't know if you guys know what a front kick is, like taekwondo. So imagine you're standing straight and then your leg goes up like this. Over 50, he did that clean, and he got to.
You almost
really
took off
tall.
my nose.
Exactly, got
Uncle
to
O.
Amtu's level. Like,
You almost took off my nose.
and we spoke with these men, and they still have that. They were like, when they were growing up, what it meant to be a man was you had to be physically strong, you had to be mentally strong. You know, you had to even listen to your elders. He was talking to us about Uncle Israel and the other older brothers that they had, how those guys were there for direction and all of that. Like, it was very clear what being a man is. But it seems like 2023, those two things have been, you know, it's almost like there's no line between what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman. And those two have been, they've now become this thing where it's like you pick and choose. But beyond that, it's now that men are not, it's not that men are not even being men anymore. It's that they are now taking on more feminine traits, being more overly feminized. So, as usual, I'm going to throw it to the brother men as to what they think about this. When you hear the over feminization of men, what does that mean to you? And how does that present itself in today's world?
So, I'll go first. Traditionally, men had their roles, they had their functions, they had their place in society. And I'm talking from Stone Age to pre-social media age. You get, it was clear what we represented, what we stood for in society. Women had theirs as well. Now, like you said, it's blurring. And I kind of feel like social media has a big role to play in this. And I stand to be corrected.
How so?
So, Bob Risky, they call you out. I think because people are trying to sort of stand out. Is one reason. I want to stand out. And I've tried so many ways to do that. Maybe if I just take on a different outlook, a different gender, maybe that would stand me out.
Stand out.
If I wear wig, that would attract attention to me.
Oh my! I can say how this is. I can say how this is true. Though.
Do you understand?
I can say
I was at last month in February. I was at an event. It was a Sound City MVP. And then there was this bunch of guys. Their dressing, man. There was nothing masculine about their dressing. You get the thing is, you would be attracted to it because it's unusual. It's not something that you would normally see.
Mm-hmm.
The cut of they were wearing like suits, but the cut of the suits had that very feminine
vibe
cut
to it.
They painted their nails and there's some weird colors. Some of them had makeup on their face, you know.
Painting is
And I'm
getting very
talking
popular
female, feminine makeup, not. So all those things just made them. I had to stare.
Yeah,
you get. I think he's going to get to a point where in America, if you're staring at these guys for too long, they go enter you.
Yeah, I mean,
they'll enter you.
I mean, you look at the whole trans movement now, and for me, it's so annoying because, and this is where I agree with what you said as to how I even heard something. I mean, the multimedia entertainment industry, and there was something that was said that the easiest way for a man to gain, like a man doesn't have attention until he puts on a dress. The moment the easiest way for a man to get attention in this industry is to just wear a dress. Just wear a dress, and everybody. And you see that with the trans movement. You see biological men who, in the standard of sports or whatever sports they are in, they're maybe like number 200 or something.
So
they suddenly identify as women,
and they go there and start shining.
Like
top 3.
There was one I saw in the UFC, bro. This dude beats. Like, I don't even know who let him into the ring with a woman. John, he beat this woman's ass, bro. Jonathan, and it's like it's a pick and choose thing. And I want to make it very abundantly clear, even with this trans movement, like, everybody is in this zone where it's like, do whatever you feel like doing, but feelings don't run the world. The world is run by principles. And one of the clearest principles in the world, the reason why we're all sitting down here today is because a masculine man and a feminine woman got together to make us. That will never change, no matter how you choose to pick, no matter what you pick and choose. I'm not here to pander to anybody's feelings because, again, I don't know you. The only person's validation I need, I married her. You understand what I'm saying? So, just I don't need your validation. But here's the truth, bro. You can't change certain natural facts. And as a man, bro, I know it's hard to leave something that you have never seen played out before, especially for most men between, say, maybe 18 and 30. How is either they had a very silent father or daddy wasn't really there to show me what masculinity looks like and all of that. Or just the way the world is structured, where you can just wake up in the morning and all you have to do to be a woman is to feel like it. It's such a big insult to my wife and my sisters and my daughters, my unborn daughters, to say a guy can just wake up after going through puberty and having testosterone course through your veins and just feel like you're a woman.
And
I think now people men learn how to be women from the phone, scrolling through the social feed. This is what it means to be a woman. You get. I think there's something fundamentally wrong
in that. Thinking that you can just look at some pictures and think you totally know everything within what it means to be a woman, and then claim that maybe you were born in the wrong body.
I don't even know what that means.
For me, it's a very confusing thing for me because I'm a very traditional Nigerian man. Grew up as a traditional Nigerian guy in Nigeria for the most part. So seeing all these things, it's just too many new definitions, too many new classifications.
Bro, there are almost over 100 pronouns.
Too many. And that's one of the reasons why, that's one of the positive things I like about a place like Nigeria, where those things are not as predominant. Even though you can see it seeping in, which even brings me to another angle. The fact that in a lot of ways, these ideologies, they are trying to be forced
down on us,
on people, which is another troubling thing too.
Let me ask something. What's the downside of it?
The downside.
So I mean, it's there, but what's the downside of it?
So the downside of it is who suffers the most whenever you change natural principles. Who is the weakest in the link? Children. Our kids.
You're getting confused children now.
They're getting confused. All children had to worry about before, all we had, I knew I was a boy when I was 5. that I liked, maybe there was a doll that the girl had, and maybe I liked the way it looked. Maybe I was just attracted to the color or the shape or something about that doll. Did not make me suddenly a woman. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Like that I had certain feminine traits as a boy child did not make me a woman. It was clear cut. And I knew the things that men did. I saw it modeled in older men and all of that. It was easy to see. Do you understand? But now you have that all mixed up. And the people that suffer are children. And beyond that, it's not just enough for you to think that you're a woman. You go ahead to affirm it medically. So they are chopping off genitals of young children who at 8, look, at 8, you don't know what you want.
Yeah.
I would even argue that at 16, you don't even know what life is about.
21 before you can even talk about gender change. And I don't even think it should even be a topic.
Sorry, no, finish.
Yeah. No, I'm done.
Do you remember there was a video I was showing David one time? It was about this hearing that happened in the US. So the president of the US had nominated a black woman to become a Supreme Court judge.
Yo.
So they were having a hearing to just do an informal interview for the woman, just ask her some questions.
Yo.
So they now asked the woman, can you define who a woman is? That was the question. Please, it was the senator that asked her, can you define?
Yeah.
And the woman now said that I can't answer that question because I am not a biologist.
You need to be a biologist.
Why was she confused?
That was her literal answer.
That's the world.
All because you're trying to push this agenda. Like a child is not allowed to take alcohol. Hell, in fact, in Nigeria, you're not allowed to drive till you're 18. You're not allowed to vote till you're 18. You're not allowed to go into clubs and take alcohol till you're 21.
Yeah.
Why would we be allowing them make such life-changing decisions when they are 8 just because they feel like it?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I know that there's some confusion that comes when you hit puberty and a young guy can wonder what it means to be a woman. But that your feelings or your wonder validates the fact that you are now a woman is a problem. Two, like Roti said, social media has played a very big role when it comes to this feminization of men. But one question I want to ask, is there any positive thing in feminizing men? For example, if men start painting their nails now, which is getting very popular and stuff like that, is there any positivity coming out from that? Because someone can say, oh, I want to support women, so I paint my nails. Yeah. So is there any positivity coming from feminizing men?
I've heard this term a lot. That they say to men, get in touch with your feminine side. Get more in touch with your feminine side.
No, but
they say women like a guy that is in touch with his feminine side.
Do not.
What do we think? Yeah, so what do we think about that?
So this is
that would have been the one positive side, but is that the thing? When you cry sometimes? I know that a couple of times I'm watching a movie and it's really emotional. And then I feel tears welling up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why the fuck am I crying?
Yeah.
Why is this feeling? Yeah. And it's usually when nobody's around.
Yeah.
You get. But do we think that women are attracted to that?
From the angle, as you're saying, I was even thinking about, I think the first or second episode we did. And we're talking about this whole why should men cry issue, or should men cry?
Yeah.
And we spoke about the fact that it's fine, but there's a context for it, there's a time for it, there's a place for it. It's not in front of anybody because those are real emotions.
And there should be the purpose for the cry at least.
Yeah. So it just made me think about that and think about the fact that, for instance, now when you say who is a man, and the traditional definition might be someone that provides, someone that protects. And I think we're touching on the fact that there are other facets of being a man. A man can also help to nurture. So as far as that goes, I don't think that's toxic. I don't think that's over feminization. So now what is the feminization you're talking about? Painting nails, making a person paint nails. That's not what I'm trying to say. Because if you are trying to say that men are being over feminized, you have to look at, okay, what's the context? Is it that men should now only,
I like
only
what
be in a box?
I like what I'm
What
saying.
is yeah,
So
you get what I'm saying?
like a guy taking care of his baby, maybe his wife is not, she has to do something else. You're taking care of the baby for even if it's a couple of days, you're watching the kids, you're cooking. Those are good things to do. Those are fine. That is their feminine, their traditional feminine things.
That's what I'm trying to say.
As a guy doing that, I don't think that is feminization or over feminization.
No.
So what are the things? What are the things that when you do, it now becomes over
Too much.
Okay,
Yes.
So is this line that we actually need to draw? Because when is it feminine? When is it not feminine? Is it just in the dressing? Is it in the mindset? Is it in the values? Is it in the things you do? For example, one day, me and my wife were going to the supermarket. Okay, so I knew she wanted to do the major of this. She wanted to do major shopping. So I just let her carry the baby with this baby strap in my front. And I was going and I entered the supermarket and people just started laughing and they were pointing and they were laughing at me. Somebody was bold enough to come and meet me and say, hey.
For real, someone came to meet you.
He said, why are you carrying the baby? I've never seen anybody carrying the baby. I said, you've not seen anybody using this baby carrier. You've not seen a guy. He said, no, I've not seen a guy using the baby carrier. So now, in that girl's mind now, she can say I'm being feminine. And me, I don't even look at that as being feminine at all. So the thing is it in what you do? Is it in how you dress? And when is it over? Because I think that is the line.
Where is the line? The line is the line is this. You have to know that there are two genders. There are male and female. You're either born male or you're born female. And no, gender is not a social construct. It's not a figment of your imagination. You don't get to choose it. Gender is not different from sex. They are one and the same thing. Okay, because that's the argument people like to make. They're one and the same thing. But here's the line. Number one, I believe that being a masculine man and being a man starts with your head. Most of what we see, there are actual people living with what they call gender dysphoria, then gender dysmorphia, depending on the languaging you want to use.
Mm-hmm.
There are many people struggling with this ideology that you talked about. Oh, I could get to puberty age and then start feeling confused about my identity, my gender identity. It's possible that can happen. And what those kinds of people need is not affirming care. It's not care that affirms what they think that isn't true. It's therapy to actually show them that, look, this is who you truly are. In Africa, you did not even need therapy because you've heard of cases where they may slap you or they may just, the things they will do for you will just reaffirm the fact that, guy, you are a guy. So first of all, I think that not being the over-feminization of men, if we're talking about that, I think it starts with, first of all, the way you think. How do you think as a man? There's a way men think. You just talked about something about carrying your baby and people wondering. Those are the extreme sides of it. Because for everything that God created naturally in us as human beings, we as human beings have looked for a way to make it extreme. We always take things, we are always far right or far left. So being a masculine man means relegating all. I had a similar experience with my wife. We went somewhere in Yaba to go and get something. Do you understand? And she had to negotiate to get something, or she was trying to get something more, right? And I was holding what we had already bought because more stuff would be put in her hand. You remember that? And the guy we're buying it from is a very traditional guy from the north. And he's like, why are you carrying this? That's her job. That's what she should be doing. And I'm like, bro, you see that she wants to get something. So there will always be cases of, there will always be extreme cases like that. But carrying your child is not what makes you feminine, for crying out loud. Yeah. It's not what makes you, carrying your child, being there for your children, taking care of your children. It's not what makes you feminine. Number one, how you think is what makes you feminine. And I will start with my own experience. I had 2 friends last year that I had to do away with at the end of last year. Like I had to cut all ties with them because it took a disagreement. If you want to know how strong your friendships are, if you even want to know how strong your marriage is, fight.
Of course.
Fight first. And then you know how strong, because how you guys resolve conflict is so important.
Yeah.
And if I have a disagreement, I remember one time I was making I was supposed to deliver a mix to Am2. And it was taking a very long time because I was very busy. Do you understand? But Am2 believed that I should probably do more with getting that stuff to him on time. And he reached out to me and he told me, and he was like, look, bro, I understand that you're busy, but you've kept me waiting for so long and I am on the deadline and I'm not really happy with what you've done. What am I supposed to do? Like, obviously, it wasn't like I was sitting on my ass and not doing anything. I was busy. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was very busy, but he had just made a complaint to me for something that and granted, it took time. It's not just an emotional thing. What was I supposed to do as a man? I was supposed to take responsibility for the fact that indeed, he wouldn't be talking to me the way he was, agitated and, a little bit displeased and upset.
Yeah.
If he wouldn't have done that for no reason. There was a reason for that. Whatever led to that situation being the way it was, is not his business at that point. This is the way men think. And I took responsibility for it and I said, bro, I'm really sorry about that, but I can give you my word that so and so time. And you can break that down into actions, into actionable behavior.
Yeah.
Where if you tell me that something is wrong as a man, we find out what is wrong, we take responsibility for it.
And we're solution driven.
And then we prefer solutions.
Okay.
If you're a guy and you do not act like this, especially with conflict, especially when people come to you with conflict, bro, you're a sassy ass dude. Do you understand? So first of all, it starts with your head, the way you think. Number two, yes, you can be weak. Yes, you can show emotions and all of that. But as we've said, and as Am2 reiterated, bro, there are places for that. There is a context. You cannot be emotionally expressive and reactive to everything. And as I was saying, I had two friends I had to do away with because we had a disagreement. They did things that genuinely were wrong, that I found very wrong. But instead of taking responsibility for it, they escalated it. You were in the car when I was having one of those conversations. Do you understand? You have done something. I wouldn't be complaining for nothing. The least you can do at this point is say, bro, and a lot of things I was complaining about, especially one of them, was reoccurrent. This is stuff that had happened over and over and over again as a man. And I'm like, bro, you need to check this. This is wrong. What you're supposed to do in that moment is, bro, I'm really sorry. I apologize for this. And I'm going to make amends for it.
So what you're saying now is that in the way men handle issues, there's also a difference. And it should not be feminized. So a man should not...
That's where it starts from.
Should I say nag? Should I say nag? Should
Take
I
responsibility is what I'm really hearing too.
Yeah, should take responsibility.
Yeah.
So when you say they are feminizing men, I'm looking at it. There's something you mentioned one time. You're talking about that a man can have some female traits, but it doesn't make him
a woman. Yeah.
And then we should now go ahead and start praising the female traits and start saying, oh, continue.
And make this all into a new identity.
It's beautiful. And then we forget that. Let's take it back to the Bible. He made them male and female.
Yeah.
So you made them male and female. Anything you are trying to construct, it's not a construct of your mind. But you have some things that people can easily identify as feminine. Let's go into occupation, for example. In Nigeria, people are not used to things like male nurses. Because the term nurse already sounds like feminine. So now, you're a nurse and you are male. Call them male nurses. Now, so does that now give you, is that feminizing? Can you now say, because I want to be a good nurse as male, I should now, change my mannerism, so that I'm
like a babe.
Or maybe there's some jobs that are feminine. For example, hairdresser, traditionally feminine. For example, you're a hairdresser. Doesn't mean now because I'm a hairdresser, I should I should display characteristics that has to do with women just so that I can be accepted as a hairdresser. Because many times when I look at these people trying to push down femininity on men, especially in terms of attitude, character, mannerisms, dressing, sometimes it's because of attention, sometimes it's because of trying to stand out.
Medical conditions.
Or medical conditions, like you said,
where you're just being confused. And look, here's what I want to say about this issue. Yes, granted, right? Granted, you can be a man with feminine traits and you can be a woman with masculine traits. But like I said, talking from the perspective of a man, first of all, that masculine trait starts with your mind. Like what goes on in your head, how you solve problems, how you respond to conflicts, how you, like, I can't be talking to my guy about something, a fellow man about something, and you're responding the way a woman would. Do you understand? You're all about, I feel, it's all feelings, there's no single, here is what you've said, I have analyzed it, I've thought about it, and I see how I can be wrong. My dude, my bad. I'm so sorry about it.
No
how can
emotions.
I make this up to you? Move on. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
About all this whole this example you give about professions. Look, you are a man doing a profession. You are not a profession playing man. Do you understand?
There's a difference.
You're who you are doing something.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change who I am.
I'm not going to, because I
of
want
what
to be a nurse or be a chef or a cook, start to behave like a woman.
Exactly. That's where the confusion comes in. That's where the line gets crossed. Do you understand? Because another thing we underestimate is just how powerful this thing God gave us is. Our brains, our minds. And that part of the Bible that says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Like that is literally a principle.
A blueprint.
A real life principle.
The mind is very powerful. Very powerful.
Your mind can think a certain way. Do you understand? But if you're not well grounded in your identity,
you get lost.
You will get lost.
Especially with what Rosie said about social media.
Your mind twists, sort of. Your mind dictates your actions.
Yeah.
So if you start thinking a certain way, after a while you're going to act that way as well.
And you should be able to tell men that it's not okay to think this way. There are some ways that are not okay to think.
Which is
what
as
I'm
men.
You can't accept.
Which is what I'm trying to say. That's why I
said.
started it by saying, bro, how you think is so important as a man, because that literally that's the foundation for everything that you do. If I do not think that I'm a man trapped in a woman's body, do you understand? Or I overly have to behave. Okay, so let me just put this as a sidebar. I can't say this enough. This is why, men are important in the development of children, especially in the development of men. And so, except, again, I'm appealing to everybody here, except your father is in the grave, or your dad is he's the true definition of deadbeat. He doesn't want to have anything to do with you. He's not making any effort to get to know you. He's not even interested in a relationship with you, except you're in that boat, which is very hard to find, right? Not that cases like that don't exist. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Please try and learn as much, try and get tutelage from such a man, or find an older man that can teach you how to do these things. Because a lot of us were brought up by our mothers. A lot of us were. And even when we had fathers in the house, they were very silent in our development. The only time they showed up was to instill discipline. And that is not the only aspect to masculinity. Do you understand? They were there to instill discipline, but they were not there to show us how to walk, how to move, how to talk. How when mommy is yapping away, you don't come with that whole, will you shut up? What are you doing? Why are you shouting on me? But they're calm. And they wait for her to finish, and they're like, are you done? Oh yeah, come, sit down. What are you worried about? What did you say was wrong with you? But sure, you see, this is how it is, this is how it is, this is that is. So did I really offend you? Can you see? Oh yeah, let's make peace. Amto has told me a couple of times that one of the things that amazed him about his parents, do you understand? That's why the girl you're dating now, like, each time she tells me of, man, I'm so happy with this dude. I'm like, you don't even know. This dude he had a very good blueprint. He told me of how one thing that always amazed him was how himself and his mom and his dad would sit down 1 minute arguing.
And the next minute,
they're back. Like nothing happened. So you need somebody to help you to model this thing, else you're going to get it wrong. The problem, however, is this whole giving trophies for people's feelings. Yeah. We're handing out trophies. We are validating people's feelings, people's subjective feelings.
So I like where you're taking it. So this whole thing of depression.
Yeah.
Depression, I dare say that it links. There's some linkage to guys not being who they are and who they're meant to be.
Yeah.
You get, there's a lot of confusion happening in men's heads now.
Yeah.
And there's a link to depression, that whole mental illness.
We suffer from all these things you're saying the most.
Yeah. So and notice how suicides.
Yeah.
Men are the highest now.
Notice how and the rate of it is increasing.
Yeah.
It's increasing. When we don't know exactly what our role is anymore.
Yeah, because there has actually been research that has shown that whenever a man or a human being generally, when they are living in a way that is different from
It's contrary,
to their authentic self, that's when a lot of this depression, there are studies that have been done on different people, wealthy people, poor people, show that when they are living in a way that is different to who they are authentically, that's when a lot of these suicidal rates come up.
And one reason I really don't even like the fact that in some other societies that are called modern, these young people are being feminized even before, especially before they reach 21. Because
what I think now is from primary school,
5 years old,
you
6
understand?
years old.
And I feel like even till 21, people are still discovering themselves. I'm telling you, people are still getting to know themselves till 21. That's what I believe. And if you and it's not just, it's what I've experienced, because there is a lot to get into even know yourself. There's a lot of greatness that God has
you finalize that you're a man and I'm a woman. You're still going to find out what it means to be a man in the context
of yourself, because God has placed, especially God, like I said, He made them male and female. And when He made them male and female, He was male and female full stop. The male is complete, he's full. Yeah. The woman is complete, she's full. So when we now come and say, okay, you can just feel like a woman one day, and then okay, you feel like wearing high heel shoe now. Then you now wear high heel shoe, and next thing you wear gown. I have to put this other funny point in it, because funny enough, people are just using this to make money too and get attention.
And that's it. That's actually where it starts. For everything that happens, you have to follow the money.
Follow the money.
Follow the money.
Who stands the most to gain? And this whole gender affirming care. Bro, you cannot fully transition without big pharma. You can't.
Yeah.
Yes, and they pump some hormones into you.
Do you know how much you're paying psychologists? Do you know how much you're paying doctors? Do you know how much you're paying?
It's a lifelong thing, this gender thing.
Why are you talking?
Once you say, I feel like this gender,
and
from that moment till you die, you are paying a lot of money on drugs, pharmacy, different things. So follow the money, people. I
also follow the money. I also want to follow the fact that most of these people are being selfish. Selfish, yes, you're being selfish. First of all, you are. If you're a man, first of all, man, you are being selfish. You are either seeking for attention or you are concentrating on yourself. You're concentrating on yourself to the detriment of not caring about anybody. Imagine what it takes to be a man. I say this every time. If being a man was easy, Bobrisky will not be here. So it's not easy to be a man. We've accepted that. So if you're looking for escape routes and you are now looking for ways to maneuver this thing, because you're thinking about yourself. If someone that is going to go and inject himself with female hormones, he's thinking about himself. Now, generally, especially with my faith, you don't just think about yourself. Selfishness is not a good thing. Anyway, you think that selfishness is a good thing, then you can't even be on the same page.
I think it's even
so when you are selfish and then you take the selfishness into changing your role, changing your gender roles, and influencing people that are still trying to discover themselves to
follow your footsteps.
You yourself, you are still pumping yourself with things to change the gender. I mean, you are a terrible person.
Which brings us back to answering that question that Ronte asked, that how does it affect us to, walk in this light? And see, bro, you've just hit something that is very, very important to me. Do you understand? Even if you want to be deluded, right?
Yeah.
Don't recruit members.
Be deluded on
your own.
Don't bring your ideologies and force it into the educational curriculum of my kids. Do you understand? Don't bring that.
Into the movies
by yourself.
Into the movies, into the animation, even children's animations now. Because I have an elder sister.
Exactly.
And she tells me how hard it is to now filter through
Nemo,
kids animations and
these
stuff.
puppets. It's not Nemo. Nemo is the fish.
Sesame.
Yes, Sesame Street.
Yeah.
You know, there are two male puppets. They've come out now that they are gay. They've come out and Sesame Street is legendary that they used to have stars and everything.
So now they're putting it into even children's content.
Enjoy your delusion by yourself, bro.
And don't push this thing on men, because there are still plenty real men that understand the value of being a man and stand for it. So feminization, at the end of the day, we need to filter, like we said. One thing about being a man, especially in these days, filter the kind of information that you allow to come in. And I will always say, is anybody that you guys are saying 5 years old now, they're already teaching them rubbish. 8 years old. I just think that is very wicked. I think that is just wickedness. That's just what I think. It's wickedness. Honestly. Take away, forget about the feminist. I think you are just being wicked. Because most of those people didn't even go, even if they went through that, they didn't go through it the way they are now forcing young people to see changing gender as a normal thing.
We should be thrown back into the Stone Age when
we need a reset.
Yeah, like, you know, then when and a lot of people, I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but when I watch things like Game of Thrones, where, you know, men are a man from how you draw out your sword. Everyone has watched Fight Club.
Sure, no. You don't talk about Fight Club.
It sort of exemplifies this thing that we're talking about. Where the society had gotten to the point where men didn't feel like they were represented anymore. They were being relegated. It's like your time has passed. It's this whole feminization you get. But a lot of these men were confused. And then they created this club where this underground club where they can just come and be men and just exactly. Yeah. So just maybe we should
which is what the brodamen asylum is. Which is what we're actually trying to do. We're trying to create a platform, because with all these influencing you're talking about, where young men are being influenced, where children are being influenced, it's very evil, because people are still discovering themselves.
Yes.
Self-awareness is a lifelong process.
Yes.
So when a person is still trying to be aware of themselves, and you are now coming saying, you don't need to gain self-awareness. This is what you are already. This is just anything you feel like you are, that's what you are. When you have not even grown your own mental faculties to be able to judge between different things, there's no way you have a child and say anything you want to do, just do. If you want to climb on the bridge and jump, just do it.
Children, bro.
So why you allowing them to do that when it comes to their gender?
Exactly. And the most painful thing about this entire topic that we're having, and I talk about it with so much zest and so much passion, because like I know the benefits. Like we wouldn't be here if not for men. Do you understand what I'm saying? The role that masculine men play in keeping this society running cannot be overemphasized. And it is how it's just being attacked. Real men don't pick up guns and they feel some type of way because no girl talked to me in school, and then they go into the school and shoot up everybody. Real men don't do that. Masculine men who have a hold on their emotions and all of that. They don't do that.
They don't do that.
Do you understand? Yeah. Masculine men don't have maybe women in their lives who throw a fit, or they're just yapping away, and then the next thing is bam, boom. They don't do that. I'm gonna control myself and I'm gonna check out of this house for a few minutes, then I'll come back. Do you understand? What we bring to the table, and this is why all of our children are messed up.
It's true.
This is why our kids are messed up. There's no male
proper
direction.
Man is really all about protecting the people around him rather than hurting them. People. No matter how physically strong you are, you're emotionally stronger. That protecting part of it, to me, is a good way of saying that is what a man.
I don't think we can exhaust this topic. Yeah. But I'm happy that we've touched some very, very key notes in the fact that it is feminization of men. Men need to actually take responsibility and know their roles, and making underage people, especially below 21, and non-dating them with information or wrong information about how they can just be in touch with their femininity in a wrong way. It's evil.
Guys, recently, let me just say this and then we end.
All right.
Recently, a famous basketballer and his wife were given an award. And the award, Dwayne Johnson and Gabriel Union were given an award. Dwayne Wade, rather. And Gabriel, they were given an award because Dwayne Wade's son successfully transitioned into, has changed his government name to Zaya or something like that. And they were given an award because that's so brave.
They gave them an award for that.
They were given an award for that, for being, for pretty much just letting that happen.
Yeah.
And that's so brave.
Yeah.
That is brave, oh. That is brave. You see the way
that's what they redefined what brave
that's what
means.
bravery
means
is.
now.
But we're just coming out from COVID, and there's probably some man who had to work to ensure that all his kids went to college in the last 3 years. That guy didn't get an award. There are men that we know in this country who have bent over backwards for their family to have a shot at life, at a good life. Those men don't get an award. But just because I affirm the delusions of a child, I can be put on the world stage and be given an award. That's total nonsense. That's just total. There's nothing you want to tell me about that. Do you understand? It's like the things that don't make us men are being rewarded in people.
But don't
that
you think there's
it.
I don't know whether to call it a conspiracy, an intent to make men docile or less.
I agree.
Isn't there's a reason for it. When it can get to the point where they're giving awards for these kind of things, there must be some sort of intentional reason.
It's possible, very possible.
Here's what I was telling Bo. When you take the men out of the picture and you make the women feel oppressed and you give them a cause of their own, feminism, we're being oppressed. What are you being oppressed for? Equal pay. We want to be able to, and it doesn't just even make sense when you have both people occupied.
Yeah, exactly.
Who is the most feeble?
Yeah.
The kids.
Exactly.
Kids. Because they will be raised by the government and they can be indoctrinated.
Correct.
And what we call education today is actually indoctrination.
Right.
They are actually not being educated for nothing. Okay, look at a lot of the things that children of this generation want to study now. Just check out those courses. Gender studies. Something major something that doesn't have to do with building anything. And they go into colleges and they come out and they are more deluded than they were before they even went in. So, man, like maybe we should just slow down here and just end the episode. And I'm sure that we have another episode coming where we'll have guests and we'll also be able to delve into this.
But I want people to just drop their comments because these are real issues.
Guys, what do you think? What do you think about men just being over feminized? What do you think about what the intent is? What are your own views? We'd like to know.
Yeah.
Really help me.
Okay, cool. We've come to the end of the 4th episode, the over-feminization of men. We thank you guys for sticking with us this far. It's brodaman_asylum on IG. And brodaman is the Niger spelling. BRODA asylum_ASYLUM. And then on YouTube is the Brodaman Asylum Podcast on YouTube.
Check us out, guys. Check us out.
And it's the same spelling for Brodaman. So please check us out. Check us out.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah. What did you say?
So let's know what they think.
Okay, please think.
Yeah, and what do you think about blue socks?
Yes.
Y'all have been feminized. Your feet
keep on wearing it. Or should we kill it?
I'm sure Ore will bring pink socks for you guys next time. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
All right,
We're out.